competition which galvanised Ronnie and helped him on to what was his second world title at the time. Now, Ray, you may or may not know, is going to turn 80 years young, the Welshman who won 6 world titles himself. And to mark that occasion, well, we just couldn't miss out on the chance to reflect upon the great man's work. Snooker's own Count Dracula.
Approaching his 80th birthday, Ray Reardon, the godfather of Welsh snooker, made an emotional return to his roots at this year's Welsh Open.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
I was looking forward to today, funny enough, yeah, for many reasons. And later on, when the audience come in. But even when it was empty, I thought, yeah, this takes me back a few years, you know, this is nice. And it's changed a little bit, obviously.
It's good to touch the green, green grass of home.
Ray's rich seam of snooker talent was mined in Tredegar, where the coal industry was the major employer.
To do with the working class people, obviously. Tredegar was a good area. South Wales was a good area. Where would I have been without them? You know? The Mine Welfare Institute. I had 2 bob a week pocket money, and it's threepence a game. Loser pays. So if you lose 8 games on the trot, you're skinned for the week. So you learn to play pretty quick, actually. But you had this goal, this ambition to be somewhere, to do something, and you didn't miss out on anything. You played all the other sports. You worked. I was down the mines for 11 years. So you know you got to find it time, and then on the weekends your mates would say, "See you around the clock in Tredegar. See you there at 7 o'clock on, say, Friday, Saturday night." And I would say, "Where are you going drinking?" And they say, "We're going into the Punch House, the Globe, or Cambrian, wherever it was." And I'd say, "Well, I'll be there at 9 o'clock." And I'd go up to Billy-Hall and up 2 hours. And then I'd stay him at 9 o'clock, have a couple of pints of beer, game of dart, and then up to the dance, looking for a girl. Wonderful.
And that's the one. And he's missed it. Now what's he done? He has conceded.
With 4 consecutive World Championship titles between 1973 and 1976, and a further 2 to gild his collection, Ray is snooker royalty.
6 times world champion, absolute legend of the game, and he was a class act. Joe Davis, Ray Reardon, Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry. I suppose they're your 4 real super legends of the game.
Well, leaving Reardon with a swerve shot around the blank. A lovely shot.
He's probably the best Welsh snooker player ever. I mean, he's up there with probably the 3rd or 4th best player in history. You know, he's done everything. I mean, he's just fantastic. For any sport, really, but to be Welsh is even better.
As television coverage grew during the 1970s, Ray became a celebrity and was fondly dubbed Dracula by snooker's growing army of armchair fans.
I think it was 1976 when they split the World Champs. They played at 2 venues, and he came out with the cloak on. The Dracula cloak and the teeth coming down here, and there was an aura about him. Apart from he was beating everybody easy as well most of the time in the World Championships. That was just Ray, and he did have a great sense of humour anyway. He was a great ambassador for the sport.
Dracula's last kill at a ranking event came in 1982, and Ray finally hung up his cape in 1991, aged 58.
Your guess is as good as mine as to what Reardon will play now.
Oh, I read it well.
Oh, my word, that's good.
Come on, in you go. Go on.
Very
come
good. I've heard a rumour that you two are actually giving up snooker, taking this up professionally. Is that
Are you referring to our performances in the last couple of years?
I think we've given up snooker for golf.
I was devastated when he said he's finishing playing, and he said, "Oh no," he said, when you get a bit older, he said the butterflies get a lot bigger in the stomach. He said, and that just more or less sized the man up. He recognised that he wasn't going to win any more tournaments, and he didn't want to hang about, and all credit him for doing that.
Ray then became a cue whisperer as he helped one of snooker's wildest stallions tame his tempestuous talents.
I love the game, yes, and I love parting with some of my knowledge onto somebody. But they've got to be good to start with. I couldn't give it to a young person coming along because I'm not a coach. I'm just an expert who's got certain skills and knowledge which I can impart upon somebody who's very good, who hasn't got to that level yet, who's knocking on the door but he hasn't got the experience of it.
After heeding Ray's words of wisdom, Ronnie O'Sullivan ran up to his second world title in 2004.
We were different players, really. I'm more of an aggressive type player. Ray was also very aggressive, but more of a tactician side that I kind of probably never really thought about. I was just interested in potting balls and getting in early. But I needed to maybe learn that side of the game, so things wasn't going to my way of liking. I had a sort of like a backup plan.
As snooker evolves, Ray can still relate to the thoroughbreds of today.
I mean, look, they're younger. I mean, I turned pro when I was 35. I mean, these boys turned pro when they're 16, so they're going to be young in any case. And when I was their age, I could pot anything, just like they can. And this is between, everybody's done this. But instead of doing it in the billiard hall where he's learning how to play, here they're doing it on the television as professionals, playing for money, big stakes. And you see these, they're attacking. The game has changed in that way. It's an aggressive game. The balls open up more than they used to do because they're lighter. And the idea is get them open. Because when you go into the pack, they open like roses, I suppose. Whereas nowadays they didn't. You had to take the M3 off. So, no, it's easier. It may be easier. It may be easier to pot the balls and make breaks all the time. But if it's easier to pot them, then it's harder to defend.
It's been very important to Welsh snooker. I mean, he's the best ever player to come out of the country, and he's someone that everybody looked up to and still do, because what he it's not just winning, it's how he carried those titles as well, and how he helped the game get through a rough period.
Mark Williams now co-owns the club in Tredegar that Ray officially opened back in 1984.
I think Tredegar is very fortunate that they've got Mark and his partner Simon to introduce the Mark Williams Snooker Centre, which is a great advert for Tredegar. Dave Uncle Brent playing, he's 87. I thought I was old, he's older. Look at the young ones around. How old are the young ones? 12, making 40, 50, 60 breaks. Very good, isn't it, really? The conditions are ideal for playing. Young people can come in and play, and I would say that the way they're playing, the standards overall high, I would think that they could produce a few more world champions from here.
Ain't no drag. Papa's got a brand new bag.
I love my life. I just do what I want to do. You can't have a better life than I've got. It's fantastic. If it rains, I play snooker. If it's fine, I play golf. And I wine and dine in between. I'm trying to get to bed sometime.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
Did you get that, by the way? Did you get some of that then? Yeah. Excellent.
The most genial vampire you'll ever meet. John Evans reporting there. And Ray, I know you're always watching our championship highlights and watching it live with us. And I know it's a few months to go, but we wish you the very best for your 80th birthday in October. We're all thinking about you here. All right, well, as you know, Ronnie O'Sullivan is attempting to do what Ray and John Higgins and a certain Mr. Davis and Mr. Hendry have done, and that's to become a 4-time world champion in the modern era. And actually, what a championship we've had here. It's been one of the best in quite a few years, actually. It started with Mr. Maximum there, Mr. Hendry, with his maximum break on day one. And then one of many shocks, he announced his retirement. And we've had controversy, we've had fantastic comebacks, we've had the return to form of Ali Carter, a new star in Jamie Jones, and so many other things to talk about. Rob Walker has taken the time to reflect and rhyme.
They've travelled the world for almost a year, thousands of miles just to be here. Brazil, Australia, across the Far East, but it's all just a warm-up for the Sheffield showpiece. When the crucible calls, she's a real test of nerve. To win this takes more than big breaks and a swerve. For 17 days they have to stay sane. It's said mental strength holds the key to this game. And so once again she welcomes us in. Snooker's ultimate test can't wait to begin. The first afternoon, and guess who was back? Against Stuart Bingham he was straight on attack. He played with a swagger, it was as if he knew. One last hurrah and then he was through.
Absolutely fantastic!
The seeds arrived, all reputation and glory, but this year others decided their story. One by one the big names fell away, and this year the qualifiers would have their say.
Victory for Jamie Jones. He goes through into the last 16.
Mark Allen, what a season, never short of a line. The World Open in China, a win to define. His comments abroad caused quite a stir, and when Cao Yupeng won, it prompted a slur.
Seems to be a bit of a trait for the Chinese players. There's been a few instances in the past that no fouls and blatant cheating really going on.
And then the unlikeliest upset of all, Ryan Day 9-6 down, facing a fall. In his adopted city, Dean couldn't get home. At 9-all, Ryan showed confidence grown.
A famous victory for the Welshman.
At the end of the first round, 8 qualifiers through, along with the familiar established crew. But this is the crucible where dreams are made, and it wouldn't be long before others would fade.